White Sheep.
This is Hybrid.
And we're here today with a new episode of Comic Book Versus. Today, we will be matching up Spider-Man and Image Comics' Ant. I will be taking Spider-Man.
And I'm going to take Ant.
Alright, so, without further ado, let's begin. Spider-Man, his real name is Peter Parker, as you all know. Played by Tobey Maguire in the original movies, about to be played by Andrew Garfield in the upcoming movie, set for, I think, a July release date. And, you know, in that movie, he faces off against the Lizard, and that describes his origin story a little bit. You know, of course, bitten by a radioactive spider while he was in high school originally, and he eventually turns into, as you know, Spider-Man. And the one complaint I had about the original movies was he didn't have this thing on his arm that just shot web. He actually made, he made the web shooters, is in the original comics, and I did not like that they omitted that. I think that was, you know, part of a trend in the early 2000s to go for more, in the early 2000s and the late 20th century to go toward more fantastical stuff, more fantasy-based stuff. But yeah, powers and abilities. He's superhuman strength to the point of a spider, you know, being able to lift eight times his body weight.
Yeah, originally it was 8 times when he was a teenager, which is why Stan Lee specifically said he jumped, I believe, 30 feet it was, up into the air in Amazing Fantasy, when he first appeared, number 15, I believe, when he jumped over the car. You know, it really kind of very known thing that happened to him. It's been pictured various times in other media involving him.
All right, but
it's been increased a lot to 10 tons.
Yes, so. But yeah, as with most a lot of comics, I think, have increased the stats of their people as they're going
popular,
along. Oh yeah, but also he's very quick. He's agile. In fact, he's one of the most agile superheroes in the Marvel universe. He's very durable too, as you kind of saw in Spider-Man 3 if you chose to watch that particular piece of garbage. He kind of took a huge beating from the Sandman. Also, he has Spidey sense, which allows him a small window of precognition that kind of helps his speed a little bit. He can cling to surfaces like a spider. He has lots of stamina, good reflexes. That's part of the spider sense again. And he can heal faster than a normal human being. He has spider sense, as we've mentioned, and that kind of helps to make him a master combatant. He also has strong will and a gifted intellect, as he was kind of a nerd in high school. I think that's kind of what has endeared him so much to the comic book culture. Now, for equipment, he has, of course, his Spidey suit. He has multiple suits. Back a couple years ago, Tony Stark made him a suit that I thought looked pretty cool, but I guess didn't stick around long enough to become, you know, a thing. But he's also got his web shooters and his fluid cartridges for his, you know, little web shooters that allow him to swing from rooftop to rooftop with general ease. And that is Spider-Man, really, in a nutshell. You know, some common villains include Dr. Octopus, the Lizard, Green Goblin, Hobgoblin. You know, I think he actually, spoiler alert, recently died in comics, and that was last year. Peter Parker, in the Ultimate Universe. He was killed by fighting the Green Goblin. That's Ultimate Universe, and that's only one of the many universes in comic books.
I like Miles, though.
My head hurts now. Really? But yes, Miles Morales has replaced Peter Parker as Spider-Man, but that's not really what we're measuring here. It's Peter Parker as in Peter Parker.
And 616.
Yes. Now, without further ado, take it away, Josh. Hybrid.
Yeah. And just give you a feel for it. Master Combatant, as Hybrid said. As White Sheep said. Sorry, it's been a long day. That comes from the fact that Shang-Chi, I believe, if I mispronounce that in any way, just comment below in the right pronunciation. In Spider Island, he trained him in Spider Kung Fu. That's what they called it, like his own personal style when he didn't have his Spidey sense. So that plus Spidey sense, you know, big deal. And durability, he healed from a broken arm in just one night's rest, and gifted intellect. Reed Richards said that he was as smart as him, if not smarter, at that age.
And thanks for the follow-up, Josh. Now continue.
Yes. So I have Ant. You know, as Image Comics character, they're usually kind of in the shadow of Marvel and DC, as they're like the two big ones, which is one of the reasons why me and White Sheep were really looking forward to this matchup, as to, if you watch this, maybe educate you a little bit on a more diverse range of characters. So maybe you know this character, maybe you don't. We just tell you a little bit about him. It's actually a she, and her name is Hannah Washington. The kind of origin, so to speak, is this 8-year-old girl who's, you know, in a really bad household. And with that being said, just think about what now today is considered a really bad household. And she just writes in her diary about a future version of herself that has an alter ego as a superhero heroine called the Ant. And the Ant has she has superhuman strength, speed, senses, agility, reflexes, and durability due to her exoskeleton, similar to how ants have exoskeleton. And she's also experienced combatant and also can clean the surfaces. As you can see in the picture, the kind of toe/talon like things, that's what allows her to do that. And the superhuman strength, she's actually stronger and technically, I guess, faster than Spider-Man, as the proportional strength of a spider is 8 times its own body weight, while the proportional strength of an ant is 50 times its own body weight. So just to kind of give you a feel of, like a somewhat difference of them. But with her exoskeleton/durability, I guess, that varies by her blood sugar, which goes into her equipment, which is a spray can, and her antenna. Her antenna kind of acts sort of like her kind of way of a long/medium range attack like thing. She can also use it for up close melee as well. So while Spider-Man has webs, she has antenna. And antennae, I guess, since it's plural. And also the spray can, she uses that if she has low blood sugar, because her exoskeleton gets weakened and can even fall off her if she has too low of blood sugar, but it can always come back when she kind of replenishes that, so to speak. So because of that, her durability really varies, but actually if she has enough blood sugar, she can become bulletproof. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And here, like we had in the last video, just to kind of compare the stats up next to each other for everybody, so you can know that. And superhuman strength, I didn't put exactly, we didn't put exact amounts. I mean, because obviously she's not that well known, so to speak, of a character, as I kind of mentioned earlier. But again, she's stronger than she's stronger than Spider-Man and faster, and she's much more durable depending on her blood sugar. But then again, Spider-Man is more highly trained, smarter. He's got the spider kung fu going on that he's actually just recently developed. Oh yeah. And then with his spider sense too, that's why for reflexes put precognition with the star. That plus his already very fast speed and combat training really gives him an edge. And obviously the ant has superhuman reflexes and stamina, just like Spider-Man has superhuman stamina, being able to go at peak conditions supposedly at 24 hours at least. That it really, we're not trying to pick favorites here, but it goes to Spider-Man. And do you agree with me, White Sheep? I agree. I personally believe that it goes to Spider-Man. I think because, once again, kind of a similar situation, I believe someone on Comic Book Movie, and I'm sorry for not knowing your name off the top of my head, but we will give you a shout out in the next video. I think he said, Green Lantern in our last video, because nothing beats the original. And I feel like this is another situation where nothing beats the original. Not that Ant isn't, crazy strong, crazy fast. I just think, there's something to be said for precognition, and there's something to be said for being the first one with a particular set of powers. Yeah, like you can be as strong as you want, as fast as basically as strong as you want and fast as you want, but if you have somebody who can basically just dodge you and dodge you and dodge you and has proper training and everything, perfect example, someone like Bruce Lee versus, let's say a bodybuilder or something like that, who's going to win? Bruce Lee is. It's not because Bruce Lee is strong or anything. Most likely the bodybuilder might be stronger. Or actually, I'll just use a better example. Arnold Schwarzenegger versus Bruce Lee. Who would win? Bruce Lee. Yeah. Why? Because he has the proper training, the proper speed, reflexes to just maneuver around that and get them back. And then, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, he has the strength, obviously, like to possibly win, but he doesn't have the speed, the training in the combat. So in the hand-to-hand fighting scenario, it would go to Spider-Man. Controversial statement time. Chuck Norris versus Bruce Lee. Who won? Bruce Lee. Yeah, he ripped his chest. Stop the haters. He actually broke his leg. Really?
And yes, he didn't actually kill him. He just broke his leg.
Well, that proves that Asians are skilled.
If you want to put it that way, that just proves Bruce Lee was the greatest ever. All right.
Yes.
Wrapping up with a little silliness there. I guess we'll see you next time. We'll have the announcement video.
Yes, we will
at the end of this week. We will see you next time.
Yeah.
And
so
yeah,
subscribe.
Subscribe, comment,
Like.
yeah, definitely like. Vote, please. That's still one of the issues we have is no votes.
Yeah.
I guess that's wraps it
Oh,
up.
actually, we got votes on the last one.
We did.
I
I believe the winner was Green Lantern, probably.
No, it was actually Nova.
It
by
was?
one vote. Yeah.
Huh.
One vote.
That shows me for choosing Green Lantern. Nova by one vote, so there you have it. And for this one, follow the usual voting procedures. Shout out to comicbookmovie.com for being great hosts of our content. And all our voters there. I guess that wraps it up.
Yeah, like do everything basically that White Sheep just pretty much said, and besides that, just see you later.
All right. Yep. See ya, I guess, later this week.
Yes.